Okay, I haven't done this in a while. So, the Iowa caucuses, they're today. It's the official kickoff of the 2024 presidential race. 10 months before it actually happens, of course, because it's America. I'm not in America right now, which is why I'm able to make fun of it. Because America bad. Anyway, this is very like pot calling the kettle black coming from me as someone who covers politics, but it's so funny how the political world and all the pundits are trying to like manifest a competitive race when it's not there. The amount of articles and YouTube videos I've seen, especially in the last week, from mainstream media outlets saying basically like, here's the scenarios that could play out in Iowa. And they're like super specific, or they're like, here's what to look for in Iowa. Or can Trump's base actually like collapse in Iowa? It's like, stop. I know it's your job, but it is really funny to watch because that's just not what's happening in the real world. Here's some pretty undeniable truths about the Iowa caucus. Trump is going to win. And it's going to be by a lot. No one cares who comes in second place. It doesn't matter. Again, this is like a disconnect from reality with the media. Political analysts like myself love to look at that. I'm most interested to see who's going to get second between Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. That's kind of the fun of this when you know Trump's going to run away with it anyways. But the average voter does not care. The average voter is not going to look at a race where, let's say, Trump gets 51% of the vote and Haley gets 24 and DeSantis gets 21 and be like, I think Haley really won this one. She has the momentum going into New Hampshire. It's a made-up concept. Momentum is usually when you win, not finish with less than half of the vote share of the guy that beat you. At least Haley supporters seem to be, moderating their expectations. I have not seen a single Haley supporter say she's going to win, or even like say she's going to get more than 30% of the vote. Like they're just like, I'm hoping for a strong second place. DeSantis supporters, on the other hand, are just delusional. I've seen dozens of DeSantis supporters recently predict that he's going to win. And I've looked like at their Twitter account to make sure it's not a troll, because how can you just not live in reality? Yes, polls are sometimes off, but by that much? No. I think that DeSantis or Vivek is going to be out of the race by Friday, if not both of them. Really just depends on whether DeSantis comes in second. That's all that matters for the political pundit class. Trump's going to run away with the nomination, so we have to create some fun somehow. My personal predictions for the caucus are a little bit off what the polls are saying and what most political observers are saying. I think Trump is going to dominate by even more than anybody thinks. I think he gets around 57% of the vote, potentially cracking 60. Recent polls have had him a lot lower than that at like 50%. I think he gets a lot higher. Here's why. So there's like a polar vortex. It's like -2 degrees in Iowa, and the state is covered in snow, so the general wisdom that that's going to depress turnout. But the issue is a lot of polls not only poll who voters plan to caucus for, but they also poll the level of enthusiasm for that candidate. And with Trump supporters, the level of enthusiasm and the voters who say they're definitely going to go caucus, way higher than for DeSantis or for Nikki Haley, and it's not even close. I think that, combined with the fact that a lot of people don't want to inconvenience themselves to go out in this horrendous weather and vote for a candidate like Ron or Nikki or Vivek that has no chance of winning, that's going to depress turnout for them. Some people have said it's going to depress turnout for Trump because they're not going to go vote for a candidate that's obviously going to win. But the level of enthusiasm in polls for Trump say otherwise. Also, everybody trying to conventional wisdom their way into predicting this, I think the Republican Party is lost. They are just the party of Trump. And that's why I cringe at all these predictions that rely on conventional wisdom, because have we not learned after almost 9 years that in the era of Trump, there is no more conventional wisdom, at least on the Republican side. You'll see people saying, oh, DeSantis has more endorsements from the state legislature. He has the endorsement of the governor, who was pretty popular up until a few months ago. He has the endorsement of like the top evangelical leader in the state. It doesn't matter. Nationally, Trump is killing it with the endorsements. It's not even close. But in Iowa, DeSantis far outpaces him, and it doesn't mean anything. There's other arbitrary metrics like commitments to caucus, like, DeSantis has more commitments than like any other candidate except for like 3 in modern history. Okay, well, guess what? A lot of people are going to sign those things because they just don't want to say no to somebody knocking at their door, and then they're going to vote for Trump anyways. Or, oh, he's been to all 99 counties. Okay, that really helps. Going to a county with like 200 people. Another fun question to look at, because we know Trump is going to win, is he going to win every county? Which I think he will. But there's also my absolute favorite one, which is precedent. Oh, I love that. Like, have we not learned by now? But it's like, there's never been a competitive Iowa caucus that a candidate won by more than 12 points. That one is hilarious to me because there's also never been an Iowa caucus where a former president was running. And overall, just traditional campaigning. You saw Haley dodging a question on what the cause of the Civil War was, and that was like the biggest news story of the primary for like a week. It was like a crazy gaffe. Trump has like 20 of those every time he speaks. Most recently, he said if you're sick as a dog, you should still go out and caucus. He incorrectly greeted a crowd in Sioux City by calling it Sioux Falls, which is not even in Iowa. He said people needed to just get over the school shooting that recently happened in the state. He's extremely arrogant and says, I'm gonna win the Iowa caucus no matter what. He constantly bashes the state's governor. And there's another piece of evidence that conventional wisdom should be thrown out, because usually if you attack a state's popular governor, you look bad. But instead, she's declined in popularity, not Trump. My personal favorite was when he said, I hope the economy crashes in the next 12 months because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. I just don't get it, because especially when all Republicans do is talk about how bad the economy is, but still they're gonna go vote for the guy who wants the economy to crash. And that's not even getting into religion and social conservatism that exists in Iowa, because that's gone too. Iowa is a very evangelical state, and it always serves as a referendum on who's the most socially conservative candidate in the field, or at least it used to. I would really love to see research done in the future on Trump's ability to win over evangelical and like devout voters despite being so far from like the most moral candidate. Also, why the hell is Asa Hutchinson still in the race? I saw this picture the other day of like a packed house at an Asa Hutchinson event. I was shocked to see it, but I'd honestly chalk it up to it's cold as hell outside and people just wanted somewhere to be inside and where it's warm. And also probably a lot of Democrats who thought he was Joe Biden. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Haven't made a video in a while, and I don't really know what to do with this channel. I was thinking of making a new channel for stuff like this, but let me know if you would like to see more videos like this or what else you would want to see in the future.